Hey everyone, thanks for joining here with John. Got a very exciting video that we're doing, kind of doing a bunch of changes coming to Loncor, really transformational changes to the company around the corner. So wanted to talk through what some of those are and also remind people, really what the deposit is and why it's so special. But first things first, John, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Jason, and always a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks for the invitation.
Yeah, no, awesome. Well, here, let's dive into it. I know do you want to give kind of again a quick overview for the for the project and for the deposit and kind of talk about what's in the area, the size, why it's so special, and then we'll get into why we're talking transformation.
Yeah, yes, thanks again. But Loncor Gold actually has a number of projects, but it's the Adumbi deposit that's going to unlock value and I think really get attention over the next few weeks. It's as soon as that. And I think the reason it's so special, well, size, it's sitting at 3.66 million ounces now, just in the pit, which is really a great start. And then the grade, phenomenal grade. It's one of the highest grades in Africa. And if you put the two together and look at like a dollar in situ value, we're looking $6.5 billion in situ. I know a lot of people don't like that as a token, but just to give you an idea of quantum, it's a huge deposit with further growth underground. We just scratched the surface of this deposit and just starting to go underground. So then if you couple that, that we have Africa's largest producer, that's Barrick's Kibali mine as a neighbor, and you put it together and you can understand why we believe it's a very interesting time for Loncor and Adumbi.
Yeah, no, incredible. So let's move into why we think this is transformations coming. You say 2 weeks away. Do you want to introduce what's kind of in the pipeline?
Yeah, well, I mentioned the next couple of weeks. That's because we've been doing a preliminary economic assessment or scoping study on Adumbi, just the open pit. And it all gone to plan, touch wood, and even through the emergence of COVID once more. And it seems like middle of next week, we should have an announcement. It's going to tell you primarily, I think the key is the value, but also obviously some of the technical detail as well. So look out for that value coming out the middle of next week. I think that's a transformational thing for us.
Yeah, and kind of leading on, and without giving any forward-looking stuff, want to talk about why getting a PEA is so important for the company, but also other people that might be interested in the company. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? And you don't need to say necessarily 100% for Loncor, but in general, if you'd like to kind of give people an overview on why it's so important.
Yeah, it starts to give a flavor for what you've got there. Again, it's early stages resources, but it's really starting to get into the nitty gritty of deciding on mining plans, on the capital, and key things: where you're going to put the plant, where the pit's going to be, what it's going to look like, all those critical things. But I mean, for us, I can sort of give you an idea of where I think it's going because we've got Kibali mine sitting so close to us, that Barrick's Kibali. I mean, they've got costs around $800, just over $800 all in an ounce. That is phenomenally low, and they mine at a grade similar to us. When you put out a PE, though, you tend to be conservative. You add in contingencies, etc. So, looking at ours again, without giving away sensitive information, if you're assuming we're in the $1,000 area, looking around $800 an ounce profits currently. Multiply that by, let's say, 3 million ounces to make the maths easy. You're talking about a figure way in excess of $2 billion. Then you got to assume capex. We've spoken previously about $500 million of capex. That'll all be refined, discounted. It's not going to be mined for a number of years, probably 3 years, 4 years. Put a 5% discount. But whichever way you look at it, you're going to come out with a valuation that is significantly higher than our $80 million market cap. And as I say, you're starting to move up the curve of certainty. With that, you start to see people ascribing higher valuations on it. And all in all, it's a very positive time for us as we move towards Christmas. And then just to add to that, I mean, people want to know what's coming next, I suppose, with the story. Well, what's next is we like to have underground resources to add PEA sometime. So we'll amend the PEA. Hopefully in the first quarter next year, we'll have resources, significant resources. Then we amend it, crank up the value again, and then start drilling elsewhere in the numerous of our targets. So we've got a whole swathe of things, but the short term hopefully will be a re-rating of our company due to a valuation and a perceived lowering of risk with the PEA being announced.
Yeah, awesome. And I'm sure we'll do another video talking about any questions people have when that PEA comes out. But sounds like it might be a pretty exciting Christmas for everyone who's been watching. So looking forward to it. John, anything else you wanted to put in this video?
I just really wanted to highlight why we believe that we're so cheap. We've spoke about our market cap at $80 million. And I've got the valuation chart, which I think we've shown before, but it's really worth showing again. Our grade of our deposit is right up there at the top of a whole bunch of African explorers. And it's a group, I haven't been selective there. I don't think we've missed many people out. So we're really a high grade asset, which turns into revenue per ton. So really high revenue per ton, which is fantastic. Our size, we're right up there as one of the largest and getting larger with the underground resources still to be announced, hopefully in the first quarter. So, and so you'd expect the valuation, we'd be sort of moving amongst the higher value, but where are we? We're bottom quartile on the value if you look at enterprise value per ounce. And as I say, coupled that to the fact we've got a relatively tangible valuation coming out, and that's why we believe that it's going to be increased interest from investors and, to be quite honest, corporates alike. So it should be a very exciting few weeks as we look to transform that value.
Yeah, awesome. Well, again, want to invite anyone who's made it this part of the video. If you've got questions, please drop it below. I'm sure we'll do a Q&A video coming up shortly after that PEA. But John, thanks so much for joining, and hope everyone has some good holidays, and yourself included.
Thanks, Jason. And hopefully we'll speak again on the announcement of the PEA.